Hey, welcome back to Mushroom Masterclass, the Body Systems Edition. This is where we finally explain what functional mushrooms are doing inside of your body, one system at a time, with a naturopathic physician unpacking the clinical research and a published author and wellness company co-founder showing you what that looks like in real life. Let's learn and get into it.
I want you to think about the last time your brain just didn't show up for you. You know, you're in the middle of a sentence and the word is gone. Or you sit down to work and then 2 hours pass by and you have nothing to show for it. You know who you are. Someone asks you a question and there's just this little delay before anything comes out of your mouth. I'm telling you because that used to be my normal. I didn't realize how foggy I was until the fog lifted.
I see a lot of patients in late 30s and 40s, even sometimes in their 20s, who have done everything right. They're sleeping reasonably well, they're exercising, they're eating well, but they still feel like they're operating at 70%. And the gap of who they know themselves to be and who they're actually functioning day to day, that specific frustration, is what brings a lot of people through my door. And what I want to address today is what's actually happening at a biological level and why lion's mane is one of the most compelling functional mushrooms in current neuroscience research.
Yes. So welcome back to Mushroom Masterclass and the Body Systems. This is episode 2. I'm Brandi Garden, the co-founder of Aversio Wellness.
And I'm Dr. Desiree Caruso, naturopathic physician. If you missed episode 1 on the immune system, go back and watch it. Today we're going deeper on the brain and nervous system.
Here we go. So before we get into the mushroom, I want to actually understand what's going on because for a long time I assumed that brain fog was just tiredness or fatigue or even stress or even maybe just getting older because I am almost 50.
Well, sometimes it is those things, but there's a biological layer underneath it that doesn't get talked about enough. And your brain has this protein called NGF, also known as nerve growth factor. It was identified in the early 1950s by a neurobiologist named Rita Levi-Montalcino, who eventually won the Nobel Prize in physiology or medicine in 1986 for the discovery. So cool. Nerve growth factor is responsible for the growth, maintenance, and survival of neurons. It supports the connection between nerve cells, and it's essentially the signal that tells your nervous system to stay sharp, to stay adaptive, and to stay functioning.
And what about as we age?
Well, as we age, nerve growth factor production tends to decline. This decline is associated with cognitive aging, reduced neuroplasticity, which is the brain's ability to form new connections. And in more serious cases, it may be linked to the earliest stages of neurodegenerative conditions. And the research on nerve growth factor and brain health is fairly extensive. The question for our purposes is there anything we can do nutritionally or through supplementation to support nerve growth factor? And the answer, based on current research, is that lion's mane is one of the most compelling natural candidates we have.
I love that it's a mushroom. And lion's mane, it's my mushroom. I say that knowing that Dr. Desiree is going to give you all of the clinical context you could ever wish for. But I want to be honest with you. The change that I experienced, am still experiencing in this moment when I added lion's mane to my routine consistently was the most noticeable shift that I have had with any single mushroom. And I love them all, but lion's mane, it's always going to be my mushroom BFF. And it's the fog that I had accepted as normal. I didn't realize that it had lifted until I was sitting in a meeting one day and thinking clearly, moving through my thoughts without friction again. And I realized this is what it used to feel like this is young me. So this isn't a sales pitch. This is what actually happened in my real life 50-year-old lady brain.
Yeah, and that experience aligns with what the research is showing too, because lion's mane, also known as Hericium erinaceus, that's the Latin name, is the only functional mushroom with well-documented research on its ability to stimulate the body's own production of nerve growth factor, not to deliver nerve growth factor directly, but to trigger the body's own synthesis of it. So that's a meaningful distinction.
Why? Tell us, why is that a meaningful distinction?
Okay, because nerve growth factor can't cross the blood-brain barrier well from the outside. You can't take a nerve growth factor supplement and have it reach your neurons that way. So what's interesting about lion's mane is that its compounds appear to work upstream. They stimulate the biological process that produces nerve growth factor rather than trying to substitute for it. So your brain makes its own, and lion's mane helps it make more.
Love that so much. The body is going to make it. We just have to help it. It's like giving your body instructions.
So there are two groups of compounds in lion's mane that have been studied for nerve growth factor stimulation. The first are hericenones, which come from the fruiting body, and the second are aranacines, which come from the mycelium.
Yeah, and here is where I have to stop you because this matters so much for anyone looking at labels. If you're a label reader out there, you need to know this. A Versio uses fruiting body only, always has, always will, which means that our lion's mane contains those hericenones that Dr. Desiree is always talking to you about. It doesn't contain aranacines because aranacines are exclusive to the mycelium, and we don't have mycelium in our products. But some brands will market their products that they contain both the hericenones and the aranacines. And if you are using a fruiting body only product that claims that, it's not possible. If a product contains aranacines, it contains mycelium on grain, which, as we talked about in episode 1 here, tends to mean lower beta glucan content and higher percentages of actual grain right there in your product.
Yeah, that's good to know. Both compounds have been studied for nerve growth factor activity, and the research on hericenones is substantial. This is not a compromise position for fruiting body extracts. The nerve growth factor research on hericenones stands on its own. We're simply being transparent about what our product contains and where it comes from, because as you know better, you can make informed decisions about what's best for yourself.
Yeah. So read your labels. If a brand claims both compounds and then calls itself fruiting body only, not science, just ask them to explain it. Maybe they have an explanation. Just ask. Right? Because it doesn't add up for us many times on what we're reading out there. Like, who's writing those labels anyway?
Totally. Okay, let's talk about what the research shows, because there have been several human clinical trials on lion's mane and cognitive function. So one of the most referenced is a 2009 double-blind, placebo-controlled trial that was published in Phytotherapy Research by Mori and colleagues. And it enrolled Japanese adults aged 50 to 80 with mild cognitive impairment, and they ran it for 16 weeks, so 4 months. The group taking lion's mane showed significantly improved cognitive function scores compared to placebo. And those scores declined again during a follow-up period after supplementation stopped. So that finding does matter because it tells us that the benefit is tied to consistent, ongoing use.
Yep, that's the study. That's the one, Dr. Des. That's the one I read that night late in my office that changed everything for me. I love that one. And I think the placebo group, I think they were getting it in cookies. I remember I loved everything about this study. So the big thing for me was when you stop, you lose the ground you gained. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the research points that way, which reinforces something that we will keep saying in this series. And if you've heard us speak before, this will be a repeat. It's a daily foundation. It's not a course of treatment. There's also a growing body of research on lion's mane and mood. And the nerve growth factor pathways overlap significantly with the pathways that are involved in mood regulation and as well as stress resilience. And some studies have looked at the relationship between lion's mane supplementation and reductions in anxiety and even depressive symptoms. So the neuroscience that's connecting the nervous system and emotional states is an active research area, and lion's mane keeps showing up in it.
Yeah. And for people who are navigating brain fog specifically, whether that is from stress or from perimenopause or from years of literally running on empty, this isn't about taking a capsule and then becoming a different person. It's not that. It's about giving your nervous system what it needs to actually do its job. It has a job to do. You were given it for a reason. It's a beautiful thing, your nervous system. It wants to work for you. It wants to come back into balance all of the time. And you're just giving it some love to help it do what it's there to do.
Yeah, and the goal is not enhancement beyond your natural capacity. It's the restoration of the function that has been depleted.
Yeah. So I want to be real with people about timeline, because I think it's where a lot of people give up too soon. So how long, honestly, before someone should expect to notice something like I did?
Well, this Mori study that we talked about ran 16 weeks, and it showed progressive improvement across that time period. So my standard recommendation, I like to say, is at least 8 weeks. That's 2 months of consistent daily use before you draw conclusions. Some people will notice something sooner, sometimes it takes longer, but the variable that matters most is consistency as well as dosing, right?
Yes.
Being consistent each day, and especially something that has been present for a long period of time, a chronic symptom, chronic brain fog, that may take longer to undo and to reshift.
Yeah, absolutely. And we get we get this. I mean, we look at who's coming into our community, who is choosing mushrooms as an alternative to something that didn't work for them previously, and then what is our relationship with all of you out there in our community? Like we really do love you. We really do. And we want everyone to win. And when we watch people fall off after trying things once, and we know you're getting 60 capsules in there, and for most people you're taking 2 capsules a day, which means you gave it 30 days. And then if you didn't experience something, you gave up on it. And you're so close. Like if you would give it 1 more month, and some people will experience something sooner, and those are the people that stick around. But you might be somebody that needs those 18 weeks. You might be somebody that needs those 16 weeks to experience something. But if you give up after the month, you have put in the hard work already, and you're closer than you think. And there's something else that happens. People will say, I want it faster, so I'll just take more. This isn't about taking 3 capsules a day and hoping it works faster, is it?
No, it's not. And the other thing too is don't compare it to things that are not in the same category. Don't expect things that are natural to work like pharmaceuticals. They're different. They're different, and they are more natural things, and they may take a little bit longer to exert its effects. Look at these studies being 16 weeks, right? So don't expect it to be a quick fix, right? Give it the time that it deserves to bring your body back into balance.
Absolutely. And I think that lion's mane is not a substitute for proper medical evaluation of serious symptoms. We also want to say that if this isn't something that you're taking on your way to the ER. I hope that's obvious. I hope we've been clear about that. This is a lifestyle that we have adopted, right? Putting mushrooms in, literally, I'm putting mushrooms in everything. I can't think of a thing I haven't put them in because it's breakfast, it's in lunch, it's in dinner, it's in the snacks, it's all over the place. It becomes a lifestyle because I don't ever want it to stop. I have put in the work. I've been consistent long enough that I am reaping the benefits of the incredible health, of the great mood, of the good sleep, of all of the wonderful things that come from consistency. And mushrooms happen to be the thing that worked for me. If it's not for you, no shade, that's fine. But don't give up after 30 days and then tell everybody mushrooms don't work. It might just be that, right? So we have to be clear that that's always been the standard for us here. So, okay, fungi friends, here's what we want you to leave this episode with. Your brain is not just tired. It may be under-supported at a neurochemical level. And lion's mane, specifically from the fruiting body of the lion's mane, contains haricinones that have been studied for their ability to stimulate your own production of nerve growth factor. Your body already does it. It knows how to do it. It just needs this reminder. The research on cognitive function and neuroplasticity is real. It is growing. And it rewards daily consistency. So if you are reading labels after watching this, look for fruiting body, look for beta-glucan percentages right on the label. Be skeptical of any products that claim both haricinones and erinacines while calling itself a fruiting body only extract product.
And one thing to keep in mind too is that lion's mane needs to be a dual extract for those haricinones to be present. They are present in the fruiting body, but they will only be present in the end product if there's been an alcohol extraction. So a dual extraction covers both the hot water extraction for those polysaccharides and beta-glucans, and then alcohol extraction that will get those haricinones. Episode 3 is going to cover the endocrine system, hormones, stress response, the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. If perimenopause, cortisol, or the feeling that your stress response never fully switches off sounds familiar, that one will be important for you.
Yeah. So subscribe right now to wherever you're listening to this so that you can catch it. And if you want to try lion's mane, you can always shop at aversiowellness.com and use the code podcast15 to save your 15%. And if you're not sure whether lion's mane is the right starting point for you, that's okay. Just take the quiz that's on our site. And that was created by the brilliant Dr. Desiree Caruso, naturopathic physician created quiz. Hello. What a beautiful gift to all of us in the community. And that's going to help you find the right mushroom for your moment, whatever it is. I hope you don't have brain fog. I really want that for you. So if it's not lion's mane, there is a mushroom for you.
Well, everyone, we'll see you in episode 3.
Bye-bye, everyone.